to the Psychic Soul Healer channel. If you're new to the channel, my name is Laura. I'm going to do a general message for Aries today. Know that energy is fluid. Just interpret the message as it best resonates with you. Know on this channel, I look at everything. And when I say everything, we don't just look at what goes on the surface. We do look at the shadows, see how they play out as karmic themes within your experience. This gives you an opportunity to see your situation from a different perception so you can implement different ways of dealing with your person. And that many times is what allows you to shape shift your reality into the reality that you want to experience. So we just take the reading a little bit further. If you don't understand, just follow along. And like I said, if you want to enter into winning a free reading with me, everything of any importance is in the comment in the description box. So directions will always be there. If you forget, or you want to see what other giveaways that I'm giving, again, the description box. But all you need to do when you enter into winning a free reading with me is like the video, subscribe to the channel, and write the word of the video in your comment book. Okay, the word of the video is always how I like to start off my readings. It's like where spirit tells me what to look at. Okay, let's see. Shame. So the underlying energy that is driving your reading is shame. And so I believe that you are in separation from your soulmate, or again, a significant person that you consider, whether that's a past life soulmate, that's an important person, someone that you desire, and someone that desires you. However, I feel like they have a lot of shame on the way that they treated you, but that also seems to be a karmic theme that they continue to live. It's like every 11 years, every 9 years, it's like they go through a situation where they experience shame in their relationships. I feel like this person is a cheater. I feel like they tend to come from a lower vibrational frequency because they don't really know who they are. They've let too many other people influence them on how to think, on what they like and what they don't like. I feel like this person might have grew up in a really religious household. Again, whatever the influence was, it was too much. So this person always had to create personas and, hide who they really were. And so when we live a life built on a persona and not the real self, what happens is it does bring us shame. Because what happens is that this person sees that they can never follow through, that's what other people see also, that they never follow through. And so that they make promises, they don't deliver, they say what they want just to get what they want. They're very selfish. They're very immature. This is what I'm talking about, that their character that has created the shame. And it's like almost like they get into a relationship and the relationship gets boring. So they'll cheat and then they lie. And so again, they create a lot of shame. I feel like this is not the first time. You are not the first person. Now, you may say, well, why am I getting this energy of shame? Well, I feel like when you were brought up and you were brought up in an environment that put that onto you. So you might have been somebody that had a hard time learning in school. And again, that was seen as embarrassing. Maybe you were seen as different, and your parents didn't really like those differences. I don't really feel like you did anything, but again, being brought up in that environment where you're told that you should be a certain way, you become embarrassed of yourself. So you too created a persona and a head. So relationships are something that's really difficult for you and your person. So, and the reason why is because there's trust issues. When we shame is something that we do to ourselves, but there's a sense of, well, I don't really know how I got into this situation. I don't know why I create this. But understand, whenever there's shame, the behaviorisms that are going to come with that are not going to be of the highest vibration. That's actually the lowest vibration, shame. And I feel like it doesn't matter if you do things to create that, or someone puts that energy on you and you don't know the difference. And when I say know the difference, that you again begin to live from that level of consciousness. I feel like that happened to you, but Aries, you no longer live from that level of consciousness. That's why, like this, it's like it said that you're in separation from this person, but they are sitting in their shame of how they acted. I feel like you know what that feels like. But if you were to be with this person, it could bring shame. That's the underlying energy for you, for this karmic energy. I left when I saw you with someone else. It's like, I feel like that was you. I feel like you're like, I felt like you were with someone else. And so I didn't stick around for this. It's like I knew because you weren't following through with what you said to me. I could feel it intuitively. We need to let each other go, obviously, because it's like you don't move forward. It's like you don't know what you want. You want to be in the comfortability, but you don't want to be with this person. You want to keep me almost like in like the 3D, but I never get to have an actual, or you keep me in a 5D, but you never want to have a real 3D connection with me. You don't really want to give me anything. You don't want to do anything. You want to departmentalize your life because you don't trust yourself. I lost myself for a little while. I feel like this is you, that Aries, that you're like coming to this realization of that you lost yourself for a little while in the connection because waiting for this person, trying to figure out what they're going to do. This is how a person keeps you stuck. They keep you stuck because you don't give anything. They don't give anything, rather, but you're waiting for them to give. I'm putting these cards back for a reason. So I want to see what their hidden truths are. Because I know that those were your hidden truths. You're like, you didn't give me anything. And at this point, it's like, you're holding on to me, but you're not giving me anything. And it's because this person refuses to move forward. They refuse to do what they need to do to heal themselves. I know I messed up everything. So this is why they don't move forward. That makes sense. You and I were too young. I feel like they were immature. I feel like they were immature. They weren't ready. So again, too young, maybe, but the majority I feel like is that they were just immature. I love you. I feel like, again, they have a lot of shame because they do have feelings for you. Obviously, that's what's making them look at their shame. But we're going to first look and see what they did before what they're going to do and before why you attracted this person. Let's see. It might not even be repairable. Consumed, like again, like this person, like never giving anything, but the hope and the want, I feel like definitely consumed you. I feel like it consumed you with a lot of emotions of, yes, desire, want, but then also like, but you're not doing anything. And what I see is that you're not doing anything and you're not giving me anything, and I don't really have anything. So you're consumed with them all the time, whether it was happy, sad, bad, excited, it just again consumed with your emotions. And like it's just so overwhelming too, because it's like it took so much of your energy, it was hard to even focus on other things. At its tune, because this person doesn't feel as if they really fit in anywhere. They don't feel good about themselves. They always feel like they create shame because that they're like the odd duck. Is that they're different. They feel that they're different. They feel that people don't understand them, that people don't get them. Where it's like, no, you just like always please other people, get yourself into relationships to please them, and then do it for a certain amount of time and then not want to do it and abandon the relationship, and that creates problems. So you don't really know who you are, so you don't really know who to connect with. It's like you think that certain people you'll connect with because of the way they look, or that you have something in common with them, but relationships are something that happen over time. You don't really know whether you connect with somebody right away. I feel like this person tends to lead by their emotion and not really what's there dutiful. Yeah, again, giving too much to others and neglecting what they need. And that's what I was saying. Like they get into a relationship, they overgive, and then what happens is they don't want to continue to do that. And then they're like, oh, how am I in this situation? I feel obligated. I don't really want to do that. And it's because they don't have their own self. They always created that facade living from that place. It's again defensive. And then when you called them out on it, they would be defensive. It's like, so it's like, I know that there's something wrong, but it's like, I can't really admit to what's wrong because then if I admit to it, I have to change it. And I don't really know how to change it. I think that this is just me. I'm just different. I just can't be in a committed relationship. People just always take me the wrong way. People just always misunderstand. There's a lot of excuses, but no real, which is what defensiveness is, right? So let's look at a few more lies again. And then when after a while, when the defensiveness doesn't work, they lie to cover up, so instead of them just coming clean because they do have feelings, they lie, and they lie to protect themselves. They don't want to feel vulnerable. It's not uncommon for a person that has a lot of shadows. Unfair. And that's really what it is. They wanted you to be in a relationship with them without like asking questions and with accepting whatever they gave. People that have shadows, that is very common, is that they don't trust themselves. So what they do is that they breadcrumb and they again try to control the relationship so that they feel safe, never really thinking about the other person. Like I said, this person is selfish because they don't, and they keep doing the same thing. Like I said, I feel like every 11 years, every 12 years, whatever it is, the karmic cycle continues to play out with this person with shame because of their relationships, right? It's like their relationships just don't work out. They don't trust themselves. They feel like they're different. They feel like they're like a square peg in a circle hole. But it's because they don't really know themselves. So that doesn't mean that they didn't have feelings for you. What we see here is that they do have feelings for you, but people that are wounded, their love doesn't, the way that they act is a lot of times not in alignment with really what they feel. They're too afraid to show what they feel. So again, they create a persona. Sometimes they're aware of it. They feel like your person was aware of it. That's where they're shameful because they see how stupid they look. Also, they wind up hurting themselves more. I have feelings for you. But it's more like literally, it's not you, it's me, like literally that's this person. Bad guy. I'm always seen as the bad guy no matter what I do. That's why I have shame. I'd rather be seen as the bad guy because at least if that's a persona, right? So it's again, I have shame because I'm always bad. That's what I really truly feel about myself. But that's what makes me feel that like I don't fit in anywhere. And then I don't give. I try to give, but it's again, I give where I'm really strategizing and not really becoming from my true self, not being me. You ask me about it, I'm going to be defensive. But meanwhile, I'm then going to give like I've given to other people in the past. And that's really why. It's like I've overgiven, I've lost myself. It's like I become consumed in the relationship. So it's like I don't have balance in a relationship. So when I met you, I wasn't really ready to be in a relationship. So I feel like I already missed my chance. This person's very insecure. Forgotten. And then, when if you're not gonna run after me and if you're not gonna fix it, then I feel forgotten. But really I feel like you felt forgotten, Aries. Feel like you're like, yeah, but you weren't around for me. You weren't around. This different cards, yes, that's why. Because I'm like, okay, that's what I feel like that was your energy. You like again felt more forgotten. I feel like this person though expected you to chase them. And when you didn't, and now you're off in your life, and now they know that they have to come back, but they're full of shame. So it's like they're kind of trying to again figure things out and talk themselves out of it because of pride. It's like, again, I'm going to feel forgotten by this person because this person never shows up. They know what they do, but then they're not strong enough to come clean about it. Again, waiting for an apology. It's like you're like, yeah, all this person really has to do is come back and apologize. It's like, but instead they'd rather pretend that they forgot all about me. Again, memory. It's like I felt I have already lived through this before. It's like we can go back together again and claim that we're going to fix it, but then you don't really fix it. You don't really do anything. It's like you have feelings for me, but you want things your way. And you keep trying to come back into my life and getting the relationship your way is what I feel, Aries. This is what you feel. You're like, all I'm waiting for is an apology, and you never come through with an apology. You could try to come back as if you're a changed person, but you're not a changed person. You're a changed person for a day, or 2 days, for a week, a month, however long you can do it. But eventually you go back into the same exact pattern. And it's true. They know it's true. That's why they have shame. Again, no chance. It's like there's the sense of, again, I feel like I ruined my chances. So they're not even coming towards you to even ask. They have feelings, but they're like, I know I ruined like my chances. It's like because of the way that I did it too many times. I should have came back and fixed it. I should have, again, dark moods. So it's again, there's a sense that they have a very dark side where they don't really even believe that they can be loved. And the dark moods is moodiness because they're not coming from their true self. So what happens is they live more from their feelings than they realize. They're not emotionally intelligent because they can't come back and apologize, but instead they suppress their feelings and say, no, no, I can't come back because I ruined everything. And I can't fix it because I crossed the line. It's already done. It's again, I know that you're not going to be able to see anything different. They don't sit there to try and talk to you to see whether or not they could even fix it because they're afraid. And so that is really what creates the dark mood because of the no change. Like they don't change. And so there's a sense of being too afraid to change. So there's not really, let's see, like if we can pull any more information, because right now all I see here is um they claim to have love, but they have so many, they're so prideful. First of all, they don't even want to apologize to even be able to have a conversation. You can't have a conversation with a person that is defensive all the time and is committed to being like I just can't be in a relationship because it just doesn't work out for me because like that's what it is. It's just like I always wind up here. I'm always seen as the bad guy. And so that's pretty much what it is, though they claim that they have feelings for you. And I don't, it's like maybe they do, maybe in their distorted way. They just don't believe that they're deserving of it. Again, you are my true love and heart and my soul. So it's again, I feel like this person is like, I really do care about you, but I know that I would just ruin the relationship. I've already hurt you, and I feel like I would hurt you more. I would hurt you more because I don't trust myself. I feel like there's something wrong with me. I feel like I don't deserve your love. Okay. Like literally, that's when I said, I'm worried you'll leave me when you see who I really am. So it's like, that's the thing. It's like this person has love for you, but they're like, I'm not strong enough. I have so much shame. I know that this would just wind up in the toilet, this relationship, because I don't trust me. So they're not willing to do anything. So we have to ask ourselves, why did you attract this person into your life? What are you supposed to learn? Because clearly it would be shadow reading, because it's like, okay, this person has feelings for me, but they're so broken. And it's like they know that they need to do healing. It's like they know. They wind up in a relationship, they overgive, they lose themselves, they need healing themselves. They have to know who they are. They have to like who they are before they're in a relationship. And what they're saying is that I hate myself, so I know that this relationship would not wind up as good. Because when a person hates themselves, they wind up living more from their addictions. They want to fill themselves to make themselves feel good, right? I mean, that's what this person does, why they normally cheat, or why they usually wind up in some addictive behavior that winds up bringing a lot of shame to them. And their relationships wind up horrible with a lot of drama. And then on top of it, they don't even want to talk about it, But so it's flow. It's again being able to go with the flow. Hmm. I associate that to the second chakra. Um, that's our relationships. So might have grown up in an environment that didn't allow you to like it was hard to go with the flow. It was a very imbalanced relationship. But why would you need to learn that? I also feel like flow is your own flow, finding your own self, right? Let's see, overwhelmed. So all right, so let's see what else. Yes, cleansing. I'm gonna pull one more because I kind of feel like that one didn't count, but Cinder fell well at space. Okay, so I'm feeling like flow is to be able to go with the flow regardless of what's going on in our life. And that's through our own passion, that's through our own individuality, that's through finding ourselves, right? So if you attach to this person that doesn't really know who they are, that needs healing, it most likely means that you need healing too, just not as much healing. Unfortunately, the universe like doesn't say, well, you have need a little bit of healing and this person needs a lot of healing. No, there's only two energies, love and fear. So if you need any type of healing, you could get a really imbalanced person that comes to you that teaches you one thing about yourself. And what that one thing is like to be able to go with the flow of life and even in uncomfortable situations. And that's through your own passion, your own individuality. I feel like you weren't allowed to grow up and become yourself, right? And why I say that is because space is that. Do you see this empty space? It allows us to create anything in that space. Imagine. So if you grew up in trauma, what's happened is that you're too busy trying to mold to the environment. So again, overwhelmed. So needing to cleanse those perceptions that you can't have and the perceptions of, that you're not lovable, that you grew up in an environment where your parents did love. It's just they were wounded, and that's what it looked like. So you had to live that way, but you don't have to live that way now. It's like now it's about creating yourself. And that's really when you create yourself, the empty space, right? Your imagination. Think of your mind as an empty slate that you can create anything that you want. And that's by becoming what you want. That's how you cleanse yourself of those old karmic programs. That's how you cleanse yourself of seeing that it wasn't you, that it was your environment. It's again that just because someone may love you doesn't mean that it's worthy of your love too. I mean, being able to go with the flow of life means that someone fits into your life because they're emotionally can connect to you. I mean, flow and the second chakra is, again, when we think of flow, we think of um, water. I always think of water. And so that's the element of like when we can go with the flow, we're not resistant. We're not resistant to anything. And I feel like you grew up in an environment that didn't allow you to be able to have that. You got caught up in the overwhelming part, and that made you perceive yourself a certain way, where really it wasn't that you perceived yourself possibly as defective, or again, also feeling like certain things in your life didn't work, when really Spirit says, no, they just weren't developed. And during that time, of separation between you and this person, you put your time into yourself. And that's when you create, that's how you change the dynamic of the relationship too, because this person definitely wouldn't feel the consequences if you looked like you were crying in your beer can over them, because they have a big ego. They're committed to staying in a place of being imbalanced, in a place of lack. They're committed to that. It's like they don't want to, I'm out of tune. I don't fit in anywhere. I'm not even willing to talk about it, defensive. So we saw it there. And so that's actually the opposite energy of being able to go with the flow of life. That's the exact opposite. And I feel like you grew up in that. So it was to say, do I want to stay around like that same energy? Or do I want to see what else is out there and create the life that I would like to create? And Spirit says, you created the life that you wanted to create, and that's why it was cleansing of this energy that's overwhelming for no apparent reason. It's just overwhelming because the person's committed to saying so. We're going to leave that there, Aries. Oh, you know what? One more. I would say, well, being that's like, okay, I got cleansing, but what else? What other spiritual energy can we actually put in to make us like feel a little bit better and maybe change our point of view? Let's see what Spirit has to say. Learning to love myself. And that's what I was saying. Like when you're able to go with the flow of life, it's only because you found your passion. It's only because you invested in yourself, because you found yourself. So that's why Spirit said, oh, you got to pull that card, learning to love myself. So recognizing that this person wasn't capable of love. Maybe again, growing up in the environment that you grew up in, that they loved you the best way that they knew how, but you took it like, I'm not lovable, which is exactly what this person feels about themselves. They're just not trying to change, where what this showed is you changed. You change the dynamic of the relationship. And right now, it's learning to love yourself. I choose to see my beauty in me. My wealth lies in my nature and potential. I transform my weaknesses into strengths. I realize that I am a being of light, and I allow myself to shine. So it's all about you right now. That Spirit saying is like, yeah, this person was karmic. And they will come karmic because again, they're not on your level, they're not capable, they need a lot of healing. But in that, this connection, you learn to love yourself. You learn to do that. Keep staying on that path, and I will bring you everything that you desire. Because when you become the energy of unconditional love by giving yourself that love, you become a magnet for everything that you love. And that is how you let the universe take over. I'm going to leave that there, Aries. You let me know whether you resonated with this. And again, if you wanted to win that reading, don't forget to write the word in your comment bar. Okay, I don't even remember what the word was, but you'll have to go to the beginning of the video. All right, bye.